Hey everyone, Jake Quinzelle here. First of all, let me say, forgive the coughing. I'm still recovering from a really bad cold. My dumbass left the fan on when I went to bed. Ugh, don't do that. Anyway, this was a video a long time coming. I've been absent for a long time already. I keep coming back, but only temporarily. And I kind of want to explain what's going on. Oh yeah, part of the deep breathing is also part of the cold, by the way. If you're wondering why I'm struggling to breathe, it's because I'll explain also why I also have trouble breathing in the moment. So I felt, how can I best approach this video? Because I never really done a personal video like this before where I describe myself. If you're wondering what this is, by the way, due to stress, I developed allergies to sweat against metal. Another thing I want to talk about. Yeah, things have been kind of crazy. Well, let's start off with a little history. My name is Jake Quinzelle. That's my nom de plume, my pseudonym. My real name is easy to find. I don't want to say it because honestly, it brings up questions. I really hate the history of my name. I really hate my name. I hate the history of my dad. It has to do with my dad. And my dad caused myself, my mom, and my sister a lot of trauma. Part of the reason I'm kind of hurt is because of my dad and his family. How they treated us and how they lied to us, and especially how they treated my sister and my mom. My sister for being trans. My dad immediately when we were kids told her, if you want to be a sissy, go hang out with your mom in the kitchen. Yeah. And because I was the only guy in the family, he took me under his wing and taught me everything he knew. Fortunately, I was smarter than him and I was able to educate my way out of it. And I have enough empathy to understand people around me, to not let his stupidity get into my bones, Although I still maintain some terminology like gentleman and stuff, which is very outdated. But anyway, one way that my dad got me into education, discipline, was a very hard way to do it, He disciplined with the belt a lot, with the belt. And one thing that he really was adamant about, because he did it himself, was martial arts. He did Kung Fu, which we didn't have in my hometown. By the way, I'm from Sonoma, California. If you look it up, it's a tourist town in wine country, Northern California. Now you might be thinking, it's a tourist town in wine country, California. It's one of the best places to live. You live easy life there. Nothing bad will ever happen to you, right? If you're Mexican, if you're fucking low income, if you are especially an immigrant, working on the vineyards, back in the day, I don't know nowadays, but back when I was younger, you're bound to experience a lot of fucking racism too. From the white people, from the yuppie Mexicans who wanted to be white, and from the police, a lot of police. And part of the reason I developed a bit of a disrespect and not hatred, but yeah, I'll just use the word hatred for the police. I don't like the police. They scare me. Just being around me, they scare me because there's been times I try to do the right thing and go to them for help, the right thing, right? As they say, it has to be done dirty, I've been told I can't press charges because they made some bullshit up about me, I heard one time, I was waiting to talk to one of them pigs myself. Some lady comes in, I want to report a hit and run, blah, blah. They're like, do you get the license plate number? No. Well, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, oh my fucking God, that's police work right there. Anyways, back on topic. So my dad put me in martial arts. He put me in Hayashi Hachitaru, which is pretty much similar to Shotokan. I did that for about 11, 12 years. I made it to second degree black belt. It wasn't easy. It was about 2-hour training almost daily. About an hour and 45 minutes of like training and about 15, 20 minutes of study of like charts and stuff, meditation and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty intense. I did tournaments. I placed a lot of bronze and silvers, but I did get a few golds. I got pretty far in the nationals one time. I never tried the nationals again after what my dad told me. I didn't win, and I got a participation award. I went up to my dad all proud. Hey, at least I got something. Looks me in the eye. But you didn't win. And walks away, And, the belt, all that stuff. And, he drove discipline into me, sure. Martial arts drove discipline into me, sure. But here's something that he never taught me, that martial arts taught me. It's fucking self-respect, dude. It was hard for my senseis to fucking teach me that, given how low self-esteem I had, you know? I didn't talk this much when I was younger, dude. I didn't talk this much. I was very much the, I will not speak until spoken to person, you know? I was raised that way, you know? Stay quiet until somebody speaks to you. And I did that for most of my life. Everybody liked me because of that. Everybody liked me because I was a good boy, you know? At least on the surface I was. You know, at night, on the street, when I was with my homeboys, we fucking ran dirty. But it was on, you know, it's like, I was what's the saying people say? Something in the streets and something in the sheets or whatever, you know? Yeah, it wasn't sexual, but, you know, it's basically that, you know? Like, I would present some ways to professionally to people, and then my regular life, I would, like, run wild. And nobody would understand that because I'll keep it well hidden. So my friends would be, like, surprised sometimes by the things I did, because they'll be like, wait, we thought you were the good boy. You're rolling harder than we do, you know? But that's not something I'm proud of, in the sense. It is something that I want to point out, that people have always misinterpreted who I was based on who they wanted me to be, you know? One thing I want to say about my friends, my homeboys and everything, they weren't the best influences. They weren't the greatest people. But my direct homeboys, not the friends of my friends, but my closest friends, they were better to me than my fucking dad and my dad's side of the family, dude. My dad's side of the family, my dad was the kind of person that says, I don't want you drinking out in the street with your friends. I'd rather you drink at home with me. Problem was, my dad's side of the family were the kind that would drink excessively to the point they fucking like blacked out. So they would cheer me on as I'm fucking over drinking and puking and shit. You know, I'm crying over my dad, you know, and they're fucking cheering me on and shit. And I'm like, in retrospect, I'm like, wow, I'm glad I'm not an alcoholic, because they could have made me into one, you know? But my friends, though, they will get me involved in gang activity. And if they get involved in something gang related, like a fight, tagging, or even something like that, they would tell me, stay the fuck out, or we would kick your ass, you know? They gave that much of a fuck about me. If it was something personal, like if they got jumped by some random people and it was like 3 against 1 and I was there, they'll tell me, I don't want you to do it, but you want to jump in, jump in. But if it was gang related, they'll tell me to stay the fuck out, because they didn't want me part of that. They respected me, you know? And anyway, growing up, I don't know, I was very hit and miss. I don't want to like say it because it's kind of received a bad connotation throughout the years, but I'll just use the word, even though I know it has a negative connotation now. I was a nice guy, you know? I was technically like a genuinely nice guy, you know? I still consider myself a genuinely nice guy because I get told that, like, directly. Almost verbatim, you know? I mean, I don't like seeing people hurt. Seeing other people hurt hurts me. Seeing other people laugh makes me laugh. Basically, oh, I hit my microphone, my bad. Basically, what I feel in the room is what I feel, you know? I don't have to see the person. I don't have to know the person. I don't have to have personal investment in anything. If I just feel it in the room, I'll feel it, you know? I don't know what you call that, but it's me. I've never been one for wealth. I've never been one for power. I've never been one for like stardom and fame. I've been always for recognition and respect. I want to be recognized and respect for my work and what I've done positively. And I want to be held accountable for what I've done incorrectly. I never wanted to be rich. I never wanted to be famous. I always felt like, no, even though I think this is a gross amount already, I always believed that nobody needed more than $5 million, really. If you have more than $5 million and you're hoarding that, then you're a fucking piece of shit, dude. If you have more than $5 million and you're not opening at least a fucking summer house for some people to live in for free, and not just your friends, but I'm talking about like low-income people that you never met before, you're a piece of shit, dude. If you have 3 cars, well, how much is 2? If you have 3 cars and, you know, you only drive 2 of them and they're all worth over $100,000, dude, you're a piece of shit, dude. No, like, if you're one person in one house by yourself, nobody needs more than 2 fucking cars. One for a regular drive and one as a backup. I mean, if you're serious about your business. But seriously, even if you have a family of 4, dude, get a van and get a private car. There you go. You don't need a whole fucking fleet of Lamborghinis, dude. You're a piece of shit. You live in a mansion with fucking multiple rooms and shit, and you don't have an immigrant family living with you, or like, let's say This might sound fucking offensive, but let's say you have the gardeners and stuff, and they're all Mexican immigrants or whatever, and you're not letting them fucking stay in your house for free. You're a piece of shit. Okay? Seriously, if you say that you work for the people, that you're for the people, that you support the people, and you have more wealth than the people, dude, and you do not distribute that wealth, you're a piece of shit, dude. And I'm not talking about donating to charities, dude. As much as I love charities and I want to respect them and all, unfortunately, and I have charities agree with me on this. When you donate to a charity, yes, the money does go to the desired, or some charities go to the desired cause and all. But a lot of the money gets lost in venues, sponsorship, or not sponsorship, but paying back things, And it can be a considerable amount, enough that I could have built a house or something or a program for some people. So when I think about donating, unfortunately, I don't have enough income in my life to donate excessively. But when I think about donating, I would like to donate directly. That's why I know I'm doing like the lesson that they teach you in the Bible. Let not one hand know what the other. What was it? Let not the right know what the left is doing. On that, let the left what the right is doing. I forget my verses sometimes. But anyway, but I want to disclose some things about myself. Okay. I always try to carry cash on me. At least $5, dude. Not because I'm fucking rich or some shit. No. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, often when I go out, there's always somebody fucking asking for money, dude. And I'm not the kind of asshole that says, well, how are they dressed? Do they look homeless? Or are they gonna use it for alcohol and drugs? No, dude. I give him $5 in a 10-minute conversation. If I can't, if I can afford more time, I'll give him more time. But I try to give him 10-minute conversation, dude. Because you know what? I was homeless for 5 years, dude. In my 20s, I was homeless for 5 years, dude. And you know what? Out of all the services I got, the fucking food banks and all that shit, the sweetest thing was fucking when people sat down and talked to me, dude. Really. Nothing got to me best when people sat down and talked to me. Not just anybody, but regular people, I remember at one point I was chilling, really depressed because I was just breaking up with my ex-fiance. Our story was part of the reason I have some of the situations I'm in, was being with her. Same goes with my dad. But let me tell you the story before I get into that. Basically, I was depressed and stuff, and this homeless lady walked up to me, and we started talking, and she invited me to a cookout they hold every month under the bridge, where they all collect their SSI money, buy the best steaks they can find in the area, and they always have a communal cookout, And I'm like, I wish I could have joined them, but I was so down on myself, I refused. I wish I did though. Okay, back on topic. So, what is it that afflicts me? I hurt my hand, sorry. I had an injury on my hand and it still hurts like crazy. Well, due to a lot of things that have happened in my life, and things that have not happened in my life, but yes, happened genetically or chemically in my life, I have been diagnosed with 4 conditions. One is bipolar, hence why I experience a lot of depression, and maybe why I speak so fast sometimes. I've been diagnosed with OCD when I was younger, a very bad case of OCD. I was agoraphobic for about a year where I didn't speak. Nowadays, stress has brought back my OCD symptoms, but not to a point that it interferes with my life. I just kind of turn into a little prissy, over-the-top neat person sometimes. Like when I go to eat at let's say IHOP and stuff, I have a whole ritual where I set up my paper, my spoon, my knife, and everything, and I eat cleanly as possible. And it's not something that I just do because I just want to be clean. It's just something I feel like I have to do, but it doesn't cause me stress, so I'm not really tripping on it. Recently, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. This has been alluded to in the past by my previous psychiatrist and when I was early adult. And I can see myself lining up with some of the symptoms. So I can agree with the diagnosis in the sense that there's some symptoms that I just was in denial of, which I do accept. I do have some fantastic thinking back then, and I still kind of do now in the sense that, yes, I try to keep all my thinking based on logic and physics and science. but I still kind of go outside the box sometimes into like not even metaphysics, but kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like elastic thinking, you know. And it doesn't go into the otherworldly in the sense that it's like, oh, but what if like I'm looking around my room. Let's say, what if the dinosaur from Jurassic Park was the fucking president for real, and we're all gonna live in the moon, you know, something stupid like that. No, it's mostly like, you know, well, if dinosaurs became, you know, dinosaurs evolved into birds, and you know, some of evolution has been cyclical. Wouldn't that mean that at one point, you know, birds will devolve into dinosaurs and back into birds? You know, stupid shit like that, you know. But anyway, another one I want to point out that's part of borderline personality disorder that I was in denial of is promiscuity. Like, I'm gonna use the word. I'm not a slut exactly. Like, I don't get around and shit, but to keep it vanilla as possible, I'm gonna say I meet energies. I like to meet energies, and I met some energies that are pretty wild. But that helps me understand myself better. The last one is the one that gets to me the most. Is the reason I've been suffering so much lately. The reason I haven't made videos. I have a severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder. A really bad case. Yeah, my dad, not just his upbringing and all that. At one point, he was high on a painkiller. We had an argument, and he fired a .22 rifle at my head. He missed by inches, and he tried to play it off, and I wasn't allowed to press charges because my cousin, who was the lieutenant of the local police force, and his main priority was for me to get the fuck out rather than actually do anything legal about it. Yeah, so that didn't help me out much. I'll just say it, my ex-fiance, she was physically, emotionally, and sexually abusive towards me. She did things to me that I wish she didn't, you know? I recently got out of a relationship. It was it wasn't a long distance. It was just mostly from a distance. I mean, we didn't live that far away, but we only had our time seeing each other. But yeah, this person promised me the world, you know, and kept requesting me for save her from fucking her family and shit. And then once her family got involved in a relationship, all of a sudden the relationship became about money. And you know, at the end of the relationship, she was like, she accumulated like 2.5 grand for me. She's like, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship, and I'm gonna go take a break and live with my dad in Arizona. I know what that meant. I know what that meant. You know why I know what that meant? Because I am fully aware that she has a history of scamming people online, dude. In a relationship, she asked me to help her. In a relationship, she broke it down how she does. I had screenshots. I was filing a report. I wasn't filing. I did file a report with some organizations, basically, and they even called the banks. I called the services that she uses. I fucking reported everything, and I was gonna take her to civil court even and everything. And I still want to, but honestly, it's like I want to let this shit go, dude. I want to move the fuck on, because honestly, I hate being hurt, you know. And holding on to this is hurting me more, you know. Unfortunately, this whole event has caused me a lot more trauma in the sense that I lost a lot of self-confidence. I desire to be around. I want to be with people, but I don't see myself worthy of being around people. I like going to this bar in Bellflower called Flux. We shoot pool and do karaoke. When people talk to me, I talk to them back, and we have a nice talk. But then I always self-sabotage, dismiss myself, and I spend most of the time in the corner by myself, you know, just enjoying the music. When I go out to events, I isolate. When I go to social situations, you talk to me, I'll give you the information you need, and I'll fucking wait till you go. It's not that I'm an asshole. It's like, I just don't feel worthy, dude. It's not just relationships either. Zach Huckabee, what the fuck his name is, and Karen Marie Hernandez from Cosmic Kitten, a 562 Los Angeles local grungy riot girl band. They're a big part of my PTSD. One time they were going on their first national tour. It was a national tour all around the nation. And I was in school at the time. I forgot how we got into it, but at one point, I volunteered to become the roadie on their tour. Not because they were offering me a gig, not because I was going to be on the band. I wasn't going to even be on any credit, you know? I was doing because I was their friend. No pay, no compensation at all. I was even doing my schoolwork during the time. I supported them and everything. Yeah, things started getting tense between us. I mean, we were in the fucking band the whole fucking time. But here's the issue. Things didn't start getting tense until I started hanging out with the sales girl. I wish I recalled her name. I'm sorry I don't recall your name. It's been so long. I'm sorry. And after we got our work done, we would just go off to see other shows or just wander and have a few drinks and just have fun. Well, I guess Zach didn't like that shit because at one point he started calling us out that we're slacking. We're not doing our fucking jobs. We're wasting time and we're just fucking lollygagging. I'm like, dude, aren't we getting our shit done? Aren't you getting on the fucking stage on time and packing your shit up on time? Nah, because we weren't there 24/7, dude. Okay? Skip a few days ahead, right? Let's rewind a little bit. Around Louisiana, I remember I defended this girl, and because there was this one guy who was drunk or whatever, and he was harassing the shit out of her, like getting almost hands on with her. And I forgot what I said to this guy, but I fucking confronted this guy and scared him out of the place. And you know what? The girl cheered me on. The girls there cheering me on. Zach didn't like that shit, dude. Cosmic Kitten is a band of peace and family, or whatever the fuck he called it. And we don't want that kind of aggression in our fucking band. I'm like, motherfucker, this girl was about to be assaulted, you know? Anyway, no, skip ahead. Around Virginia, the girl and I decided to do what we usually did, and we ended up getting to the van a little bit late. It wasn't that we had to go anywhere. We were just gonna knock out in the van. Nobody was at the van. We waited there for about 20 minutes. Nobody showed up. So we're like, you know what? Fuck this. It's getting cold. We're getting tired. Let's walk. So we get some beers and we just fucking walk. And we walk and we walk. We get to a house under construction and we enter the property. I've been filming the whole time, by the way, because I was making a documentary about the band. Oh, I'll get into that in a moment. And I know that's trespassing and is not correct to do, but I documented the whole thing just to make my point. Anyway, we explored, talked about the construction, blah, blah. We went to a second floor. There was an open ceiling, open wall. This was Georgia, I think, now that I think about it. And it was a beautiful night. It was very open, clear, and everything. So we sat, we had finished our drinks, we talked, we lied down, stared at the stars, and I recorded the whole thing. And then I think the camera went out before we went to bed. The next day we showed up. Zach was furious. Where the fuck we got? Anyways, on the road trip to fucking Virginia, this motherfucker goes through my shit, pulls out my camera, goes through all the fucking footage, takes the footage from the house, misinterprets it, I don't know how, and starts threatening us, dude, threatening me directly. If you damage anything, I swear to God, I'm like, motherfucker, there's the evidence right there that we didn't touch the damn thing. And it wasn't until she left the area that he got to me close and he gave me the most worrisome interrogation. What happened after the camera went out? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Here's what got to me about that. Karen Marie Hernandez was my best friend before she even met Zach. When I met Karen, she wasn't in a band. I met her in Cerritos College before a voice class, a singing class. She was doing horribly in the class. She could barely get her voice out. I worked with her personally the whole fucking semester. I don't know how many classes we had together, but every class I worked with her. She ended up passing that class with a B, dude. Her fucking teacher was impressed at the end. I never took credit for it, but her teacher was impressed. Okay? I'm gonna give you a little detail about her that I probably shouldn't, but when I met her, she was doing a certain drug in the park with some people while drinking. I got her off that shit. All right? Yeah. And Zach, his main claim to fame was Marie, Karen, or whatever you want to call her. She's a great musician, blah, blah, and that's why they're in the band. Here's my theory, though. If I didn't work with Karen in her voice, to sing, to be more public, to have more of a presence. Well, what if there been a Cosmic Kitten? And if there wasn't a Cosmic Kitten, would Zach ever be into Karen? Because that brings me to this theory. Why did he give a fuck if I was sleeping with this girl or not? He's dating in a long-term relationship my best friend, dude. They're serious about each other. So why is it his concern or priority what I am doing with my body with somebody else who's not even in a relationship with him? And if he has an attraction to her or me, then what the fuck is that about? You know? Respect my best friend, even though I didn't like her anymore, you know, for being a diva. You know? She never once directed a word towards me throughout the whole fucking trip because she's too busy fucking either on her own fucking phone or talking to her boyfriend, dude. She wouldn't even talk to me or the girl, dude. You know? Nah, girl, Karen completely changed, you know? She used to be very friendly and polite and shit, you know, humble. Last time I saw her, dude, she was so fucking full of herself, man. I was like, damn. A documentary thing. I'll make a documentary for the fucking tour because in the past, for one of my school projects, documentary class, I made a documentary about their band. Guess what? They gave me one interview. I had to basically beg. No, they wanted me to do the documentary, by the way. They were adamant that they wanted me to do it. They really wanted me to do it. They never once offered me music. I had to get on the music myself. The interview, I had to basically beg for an interview, but they wanted this documentary. The interviews with the other bands, I had to find the other bands and talk to them myself and explain to them why I'm doing a documentary. I filmed the whole thing, edited the whole thing, put it together myself. All for them, yeah, for my school credit, but I chose them because they were my friends, dude. I gave them almost a feature, no, it wasn't feature length, it was like 40 minutes, maybe 30, I don't remember. So it was like short. But yeah, I gave them a documentary for free. It was not too bad. I mean, the people that watched it liked it. It wasn't great, but they liked it. I mean, I'll upload it to my channel if I still have it. But yeah, that didn't count for nothing, dude. They never mentioned it. They never fucking thanked me. My sister made them a cover art once for their album, Be Nice to Strangers, or whatever it's called. They made a big deal about it when they got the art. They will mention it from time to time to people. But I do recall hanging out with them. When the art would be brought up, I would have to be the one to bring up my sister. They would talk about how great the art is, how great the album is. They will never talk about my sister, dude. Anyway, one last thing about Cosmic Kitten I want to bring up. Recently, I've been working with the professor at Cerritos College. His name is Steven Hirohama. He's the guy who wrote the film program. We became friends and we kind of work off campus with each other. We started a program recently. I had to drop out of it because of my PTSD, but it was to help students build a resume and a reel for when they graduate school. That way they don't have to like wander around and create a reel of their own, and they can just be ready for work. Well, one of the objectives of this was for me to help direct these kids into shoots and maybe produce some content with them. And they expressed interest and wanted to do music videos or something with musicians. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'll swallow my pride and I'll contact Cosmic Kitten because, you know, they're the bigger musicians I know at the time. So my dumbass contacts Zach. I explained to him, hey, look, I know you don't want to work with me. I know we don't want to be friends. I understand that, but this is a professional thing I'm offering to you. And then I explained to exactly what's going on. This is for the students, not for me. I don't really get much out of it, blah, blah, blah. You know what his response was? Giving her success. I wish I had the fucking screenshot. I got so furious I deleted my account, dude. But yeah, he like giving to our success and everything. We gotta reserve our funding for more professional endeavors or some shit like that. Essentially, what he says, I'm too fucking good to work with students, dude. Here's this dumbass logic, though. I never asked for him to fucking invest a penny, dude. We were gonna produce the whole thing. We were gonna provide the equipment, the film. We were gonna edit. We were gonna do the whole damn thing. They were gonna spend a goddamn dime. They were just gonna get the promotion for free from students. So not only would they get the promotion, they will get the reputation of being friendly to students. But rather, he wanted to be an arrogant prick and think about money. That's why I'm like, these people are frauds, dude. I got involved with fake ass people, dude. And they lied to me, you know, saying that we were friends and shit. They didn't see me as friends. They're opportunistic as fuck, dude. After all I've done for them, you know what they've done for me? They invited me to Friendsmas and Friendsgiving, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. You think it's some great event where you sit at the table and y'all have great meals and everything. Nah. It's basically about 3 guys and Karen sitting in a dog piss smelling shed talking about music and bands like a fucking guy's night out, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck is this sausage fest bullshit, dude? And Karen's just sitting there all uncomfortable, like, I want to be one of the guys or some shit, but you can't figure out how, because, these motherfuckers don't even let her in. So I'm just like, I'm just sitting there uncomfortably just having my own fucking beer, going, what the fuck's going on here, But I try to support it because I thought they were my friends and shit. Stupid shit, right? Anyway, so yeah, PTSD has really limited me lately. Every time I seem to be getting better, something triggers me. People don't seem to understand my triggers, even though I explain them. When I explain them, it seems like they intentionally use those triggers against me rather than help me, and then they blame me for it. Luckily, some people have been starting to understand where I'm coming from with this and starting to understand how these things have been making me feel. I'll be honest with y'all. The past few days, about 2 weeks, well, it's been longer than that, but about since mid-July, I've been in a bit of a crisis. I had to check myself in for 5150 at a local hospital. 5150 is a 3-day whole psychiatric hold. I just didn't feel like I had enough, I had fucking enough of myself. The way I felt, I had enough. And I just didn't want to feel this no more. I felt like I was letting anybody down. I felt like I was letting myself down. Every day I was scared. Every day, every something hurt. I just wanted it to stop. I started drinking again, drinking a lot. Started drunk driving. One day I had an argument with my family and I decided to just go to Oakland and see what happens to me on the way there, At one point I just pulled over and smoked some weed and I got some clarity. I started missing my own college campus, Cerritos College, because it did so much good to me there. Steven has been a saint in my life. I mean, I got to thank him so much. I'm going to go have him for class again, even though I don't need to go to school, just to have him as a professor again. Anyways, that moment of clarity had me driving him to Cerritos to go back to the campus and just sit there for a while. On my way there, I remember college campus, which is right across the street. And I forced myself to drive there. And I parked outside of that area and I sat outside for, I don't know how long, an hour or two, just smoking weed constantly. Until I finally found, like, all my apprehensions gone. And I marched my ass in there. And I told him exactly what's going on. And I waited with headphones because I was triggered. Any sound would have made me really bad. So I put on headphones and I played my Switch. And I waited until they let me in. And I stayed there 3 days. And on the second day, I hurt my hand. I mean, I was triggered. I forgot why. And the door didn't work properly. And I fucking punched it with an open hand. And didn't make a proper fist. And I hurt it. And I told them I wasn't ready to be released on the 3rd day. And they agreed. So they kept me there for a 14-day hold. And I stayed there on a total of 10 or 11 days. I don't remember. And when I was discharged, I felt better. In the sense that I didn't want to harm myself. And I felt better in the sense that I want to continue my life. I want to continue my career and all. I did not feel better in the sense that I didn't know how. I didn't know how to pick up where I left off. I still don't know how to pick up where I left off, I know what I want. I just don't know how to get it no more, I want friends, but I don't know how to keep a friend, It's not that I'm a bad friend. People love me as a friend. It's like, I either pick the people who fucking use me and abuse me, or the right people I tend to walk away from because I feel like they no longer want me around. I met this girl named Rachel at the psych ward, and we had a lot in common. well, some of the words we exchanged were very supportive, very, very, very supportive. And we saw each other. We were going to meet when we got released, but she had to go to a program afterward. For some reason, she called me the morning of her discharge to let me know what's going on. Told me that she was going to call me when she got discharged. She didn't call me when she got discharged. I haven't heard from her since. It's been like about 2.5 weeks. I think her program is like 3 weeks long. So I'm assuming they don't let her contact the outside world or something. I'm hoping that's the case. I hope she's okay. Even if it's for her to tell me to fuck off, I just want to know she's okay, you know? And that's how I care about people, dude. I don't care about people like selfishly, like, oh, stay with me forever. Nah. I understand some people have their own fucking objectives and priorities. I just want to know you're okay, dude. If we spent time together, if I cared about you, I just want to know you're okay. So I'm holding on hope that she'll contact me. We were talking about maybe starting a relationship, so I'm not holding on hope on that, honestly. Because I know a lot of those type of talks are fabrications at the moment. But it made me reflect on myself in the sense that, like, I want a relationship really badly because I feel like I could be a good man to somebody. I just don't feel adequate, dude. I feel like I'm gonna let the person down. I feel like they're gonna fucking play me. You know, I've been played with so much. I feel like the next person's gonna fucking ruin me, dude. I would love to try again, though, you know. Really what I want more than anything is a friend, dude. A friend that I can hang out with, dude. A friend I can go out with, dude. A friend that I can speak to honestly and not have them go, hey, I don't like this conversation. I gotta go. Or some stupid shit or ghost me. Or I tried doing the online friend shit. That's just stupid, dude. Everybody is like agenda based and opportunistic as fuck, you know? Everybody has like something they want and they fixate on that, you know? And I don't know if it's given my age or my presence or the way I present myself or something. It seems like the people I talk to, they only want to hook up. And I'm like, I guess I would have been fine if I was like a teenager, dude. But despite how I look, I'm an old ass man, dude. I was never really into the hookup thing. And I'm definitely not into it now, you know? Sorry, I'm all sniffly. I'm a little emotional and my cold. Remember that, okay? Anyway. That's kind of what's been going on in a nutshell, you know. My life kind of been kind of hectic, and it's catching up to me in the sense that like my disorders are really flaring up, you know. And things haven't been so kind to me lately, and I'm trying my best to hold on and trying to follow my passions. I'm trying to get back into writing, trying to get back into film. I got a film festival coming up next week that I want to go to. I'm not going to probably interact with anybody, but I would like to go to it just to go. I got class next Monday. I'm excited to go there. Steven wants to introduce me, or let me call him what I'm going to call him in class. Professor Hirohama. He's going to introduce me to one of his students, a 60-year-old novelist who's accomplished, who has a master's. I'm trying to remember what. I don't remember what her master's, but I'm like, yeah, introduce me to this person because she sounds fascinating already. Just by her accomplishments alone, a novelist, masters, and then she's still aware of COVID. I thought the most of the world forgot about COVID. Yeah, sign me up. I want to meet this girl. Like, yeah, if I have to wear a mask and like stand 7 feet away, I'll do it. You know, but you know, I'm excited for school. I love school. Part of the reason I love school is it's real. You know, it's easy to pick apart the fact from the fiction that you're being fed to by professors. It's easy to cross-reference things. It's easy to triangulate your resources. It's easy to find appropriate peers and colleagues. In real life, it seems like everybody's out on their own, you know? Everybody thinks they're the smartest person in the room when nobody knows a goddamn thing. You know? What's that thing that Coolio says? Everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking at what's going on in the kitchen or something like that. That's not the way real life is, you know? Everybody's running around, but nobody's really stopping and looking around like, why are we running, really? You know, everybody's mad about everything for no reason. I mean, LGBTQ, why are we mad about that? Really, why are we mad about that? Trans women, why are we mad about that? What's the big fucking deal, really? I mean, no offense. I mean, being trans is a big fucking deal, but I mean, hating on them? Come on, what's the big fucking deal, really? I mean, think about it. Girl identifies as girl. Okay, big deal. Oh, biology, you think she was born a guy. Okay, big deal. Guess what? Genetically, hormonally, chromosomally, we all start off differently. I mean, we all start off similarly, but there's variance. I mean, there's the XY thing, yeah. The XX thing, yeah. But there's some kind of like variance here, little hiccups here, and they lead to syndromes and disorders and such. Then I'm not saying that transgender is a syndrome or disorder. What I'm saying is nothing in the universe is finite binary. Nothing in the universe is finite nor binary. It's infinite and it's mutable, it's changeable. Everything in the world can change at any point, at any time. You might think the world is set in stone. Nah, the world is a fascinating place that makes no sense. We try to define it with logic and we try to define it with physics, metaphysics. It's just us trying to categorize the world, the universe. Science can't explain a black hole. We can define it in some way. We can break it down in its properties in some way. But can you define a black hole through physics? Can you tell me exactly what's happening in the black hole through physics? You can try. You'll never fully explain it. And with that, I'd like to believe that anything can happen in the universe at any point. So I don't have faith in God. I don't have faith in the higher power, in heaven, angels, or anything like that. I used to be a practicing Wiccan for about 3 years. I was Garnerian Wiccan, and I did the whole ritual thing, respected the Sabbats and Xbots and all that, and I did have my altar and everything. But about the second year, I started dropping all of that and replacing spirituality and deities with science, physics, to the point where I started incorporating Wicca less in more of my philosophies. And then I used drop Wicca. And now my belief in how scientifically based is based on the logic that if the universe is infinite and impossible, anything can happen, why should we limit ourselves to what we think can happen? That's why I like comic books, dude. They're absurd, but they explain that theory very well. A guy got hit by gamma radiation and he was so angry that he turned into the fucking Hulk, you know? You might be thinking that's fucking absurd, but here's the thing. Radiation causes mutation in cells, and rage releases testosterone in some men in the sense that it can make him like more stronger and shit. So I'm like, yeah, you mutate a motherfucker and give him enough testosterone, maybe they can turn into some kind of Hulk-like creature, you know? So I mean, it's like saying anything can happen in the world. I like using this example, you know? It's this absurd example, but I'm like, dude, one day a sun can explode like fucking 3 light years away, or I don't know how close is the nearest sun, but you know, can explode over there, send like a radiation to Uranus, and Uranus can fucking twist that radiation towards me, and I'll turn into a fucking elephant. You know, it's like, it sounds absurd as fuck, dude. Who the fuck knows, you know? It can happen, I feel, in some fucking far out situation. I mean, if fucking dimensions exist, why can't a fucking possibility that I'll be transformed into something that simulates an elephant can not exist, you know? That's why I like pop culture. That's why I like movies. They don't explain, but they highlight this theory of mine that anything can happen at any point in the world. Even romantic comedies highlight that, you know? The improbability of two incompatible people at the end, not only finding love, but finding that they were perfect for each other all along. In real life, people don't really take that risk, do they? You know, if you guys aren't compatible right off the bat, you guys are like, nah, we're not gonna work out. Nobody really wants to work in a relationship, you know? Everybody wants it to be perfect from the get-go and stay perfect. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are doomed to fail, you know? They start the relationship based on like what they have mutually attracted to, you know? I like your looks. I like your looks too. Oh, you like the same hobbies I do. I like the same hobbies. Oh, you got a career that pays. I got a career that pays. I'm like, yeah, that's nice and all. Do you ever find out like if she has your back? You ever find out like how good she is to her family? You ever find out like where did she actually get her education from? You ever find out like what's more important to her? Being healthy or wealthy, you know? And I'm not saying her, him too, you know? That said something about me. I mentioned LGBTQ a lot. One time on my channel, I was told to get back in the closet essentially by somebody I blocked. I wish I took a screenshot of them, that way I can hound them on my channel, but honestly, I don't think that's a good idea. Basically, I came on my channel, I'm like, hey, I'm LGBTQ. I didn't say I was bi or anything. Back then, I identified as bi, by the way. I just said, I'm LGBTQ. The person like, well, we don't want you to fucking talk about that shit on your channel. We just here for the toys, and we want you to keep your opinions to yourself, and blah, blah. Basically told me to get back in the closet, you know? And I went off on them and everything, and I ended up blocking them. You know, here's the truth about me. I'm LGBTQ. I'm not bi. I'm pansexual. Basically, I like people. I don't care what gender you are, what you identify as. If I find you attractive and you're a good person, in my perspective, and I might find you, you know, appealing in that sense, you know. I do have my preferences. I mean, I'm not a big fan of burly guys, you know, like big manly men. I'm like, that's gross. Men. I became a self-hating man in a lot of ways, dude, growing up. My dad, my friends, what I hear them talk about, what they expected from me, it made me feel really icky. And I always thought about it growing up, especially when I became more aware of the trans community. I was like, it was a joke in my head, what I came up with. They're not a joke. What I came up with in my head was a joke. I'm like, I hate being a man, dude. But I would not want to be a woman, dude. They have it worse off than men, you know? But, that was just a crazy joke I used to keep in my head. But yeah, I didn't like being a man, you know? I thought we were despicable people, dude. We're despicable people, you know, very abusive, manipulative, opportunistic, forcing our ideas upon others. Very disgusting. And then this whole alpha male mentality that's popped up, which is just a rehash of machismo, which is something my dad tried to teach me. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous and sad and pathetic and childish. I mean, if the term masculinity and manhood's gonna stick around, give it some fucking real meaning, dude. I left this in a post comment on somebody else's page, but basically, for me, a real man, dude, he opens the door, not just for a woman, but for a man and a child, too. A real man steps aside when in the way, not just for a woman, but man and a child, too. A real man gives up his seat, not just for a woman, but a man and a child, too. Because a real man is a human fucking being. A real man gives a fuck about people, not just where he can put his penis. Okay? A real man has heart. Okay? A real man isn't afraid to lose his masculinity. Because he knows masculinity is a fucking fabrication. And true masculinity is how you perceive yourself. And given that masculinity tends to be a straight thing, at least in popular culture, how you treat your woman, you know? So it's like this whole toxicity thing about manliness, manhood, superiority, dominance, whatever, stupid shit, insecure shit. It basically talk from people who like were never hugged as kids, you know, who were always turned down by women, who ended up paying for sex because they couldn't fucking like. I was gonna say because he didn't charm nobody, but I'm like, dude, they wouldn't charm. They would just fucking deceive their way through, wouldn't they? Hey, I got so much money, blah blah blah. And then after they have sex, yeah, get the fuck out. It's like, nah, dude, you're being a kid about it, you know. Be a real fucking man. Fucking own up to your shit. If you're gonna have a girl over, you know, for the intention of having sex, and don't get fucking treated as an object, dude. Afterward, fucking offer her some fucking, I don't know, food or fucking entertainment or something. I don't know. Fucking make it a moment, dude. If she doesn't want it, that she doesn't want it, dude. But at least offer, you know. No, I've been some moments I've been in a situation where the person would just be like, yeah, okay, somebody's gonna wake up, grab your shit and leave. I'm like, I don't feel human because of that, you know? I feel temporary now. I feel disposable now. I feel like I don't belong, you know? Thank you. I feel used now, you know? That's why I never really got into the whole one night thing. I can't. I don't know why I got into that conversation right now. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to cover myself as much as possible. This video is already an hour long. So yeah, that's pretty much why I haven't been making videos. Is basically my PTSD got really, really bad to the point where I was a really bad spot. I was gonna do stuff into myself and all that. But I'm feeling a lot better, except for this cold. I'm feeling a lot better. Things look promising again. I'm trying to understand myself better and see where I can go with things. I'm thinking about working out again, given that I've lost some weight due to stress and keeping moving, because I can't sit still anymore because I get antsy and I don't feel safe at home. Like, I feel safe at home. I feel like somebody's gonna trigger me at home, so I have to keep moving. So I've been losing weight. So I feel like I should get a punching bag and some weights and just kind of train on fighting, you know? Because given my personality and everything, I don't know. Kids like me, old people like me, women like me. Young men, dude. Young men see me as a threat, dude. I don't know why. They see me as a threat, dude. Young men, fucking, they try to start shit with me all the fucking time, dude. I don't know why. But yeah. But women, fucking kids, and old people, they fucking treat me fine. I don't know. Part of the reason I'm a self-hating man, because I'm just like, this is the kind of bullshit I'm gonna get from my own kind, right? So anyway, before I wrap up this video, let me tell you some ideas I've been having for the channel. I saw this parody channel for the Critical Drinker. You might have seen a post I made on my channel where I posted on the Critical Drinkers channel saying some silly stuff. Well, this parody video was so well done, and gave me an idea. I'm like, I should do a parody video, a review video of the Jurassic films. But rather doing it as the way this person did it in the Critical Drinker style, where talk about gender politics and identity politics and like wokeness, and because that's what a Critical Drinker goes on about, like, blah, 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 right? No, I want to talk about like the misconceptions about Jurassic Park and talk about them like if they were a fact. Jurassic Park is all about dinosaurs and blah blah. I'm like, dude, do you read the books? Do you watch the first movie? Jurassic Park was never about dinosaurs, dude. I'm gonna make a video about that, by the way. It's been a big bothersome thing about my fanhood for Jurassic is the fact that people think Jurassic Park is about dinosaurs. Like, nah. I mean, Michael Crichton proved that when he made Westworld, dude. He's like, I just took Jurassic Park and switched the dinosaurs with fucking cowboys, dude. It's like, there you go. It's not about dinosaurs. Nah, if you want to know what Jurassic Park is about, don't listen to Alan Grant. Listen to Ian Malcolm. Ian Malcolm, he is the mind of the cold machine that is Jurassic Park. Dr. Alan Grant, he's the heart. But Ian Malcolm, he's the mind. And if you listen to him, you know it's about corporate, governmental, and scientific hubris, arrogance, and unchecked power. As Ian Malcolm put it, you know, people that stood on the shoulders of geniuses and without I'm paraphrasing, by the way, and without understanding what they even had, they packaged it and slapped it in a plastic lunchbox, and now they're selling it, you know? That's what Jurassic Park is about. That's what it's always been about. Every time I hear a review about the movies, it's like, yeah, this movie had more dinosaurs and blah blah, and this action scene, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, yeah, but what about the commentary going on here? Do you look into that? People praise when they talk about the Lost World Jurassic Park, talk about, yeah, they had more dinosaurs and they had a cool scene at the end of with the T-Rex in San Diego and blah blah, which is totally awesome. Like, dude, you're aware that when that movie came out, people hated that scene, dude. People tore that scene apart, saying that it was a fucking ripoff of King Kong, dude. Okay? Second of all, if you're not aware, The Lost World Jurassic Park was just an escalation of the concept of the first film, in a sense that corporations are going to do corporate things in order to get the profits on top of the lives of others. I mean, there's a quote in the film from Nick Van Owen to Roland Tembo. Like, no, it wasn't Nick Van Owen to Roland Tembo. It was Roland Tembo to Ludlow, I think it was. Where after Ajay dies, he's like, "I'm done working in the company of blood," or something like that. Come on, where's the dinosaur in that? Come on. Jurassic Park 3 is probably the only one that I feel was dinosaur oriented. And that's because it wasn't supposed to be. It was written that way as they filmed it. If anything, that's an excuse for it to not even be a Jurassic film, in the sense that, like, it's a hodgepodge of nonsense that he's happened to check out and work out in the end, you know? The only thing that film did positively, in my opinion, for the Jurassic franchise is introduce Ingen's List. Ingen's List, wow, that completely changed the franchise for me. And Jurassic World completely took advantage of that, which I loved. But I think I'll save these opinions for another video. Now I think about it, I'm going to save it for another video. You want to hear more about these opinions? Let me know in the comments of this video. Another thing I want to do, I'm still going to work on that fan fiction. I haven't started it yet. I'm still going to work on it. I might work on it sometime next month. I still have that unboxing video. I haven't opened up that box yet. I know it's been a long time since the Comic-Con, but I still want to do it. I know it's not going to get a lot of views. It's something I want to do. I do want to do another toy hunt. I'm going to continue doing toy hunts. I just haven't been able to do any due to all this. Maybe I'll do one today after I upload this video. And I'll do the unboxing tomorrow, maybe. Just to show, as an act of good faith, let you know that I'm here. Yeah. Other plans I have for the channel. I had other plans, but I can't recall them all. I'm not sure. I want to diversify a little bit, you know? I don't just want to do hunts, but I want to stick with Jurassic. Maybe some analysis videos or something would be fun, you know? I'll figure it out. Anyways, one thing I wanted to say, I want to thank you all. Oh my God, I wish I remember all your names. I'm sorry. Instead of naming a few of you and leaving the rest of you in the cold, I'm just going to say, to all those who have left those comments, seeing how I was okay, where was I, wishing me back, wishing me well, you have no idea how much that meant to me, okay? There's been times I've been really down and I will get like the little YouTube alert and it's like one of you guys is saying like, you know, I miss you or whatever. And I'm like, somebody fucking cares, dude. You guys don't even know who the fuck I am, you know? You guys just been watching my stupid ass videos and you care enough to care about me through my videos, you know? Maybe you don't care about me personally in the sense like you don't know me, but you care enough about my content to wonder if I'm okay. And that tells me you care about my work. Even though this isn't my mainline job, even though YouTube is not something I want as a career, I do consider it work in the sense that it's something I'm producing, you know? So I do appreciate that, you know? As somebody who wants to get into the film industry, well, wants and has been. I mean, I got into the film industry and then I dropped out to go into school. Then I got back in and I had my PTSD thing and I dropped out. So I never really got far into it, but I started it. But anyways, somebody who still wants to be in the film industry, having you guys appreciate my simple work such as YouTube, it tells me so much that this field of entertainment is right for me, you know? Professor Hirohama has been telling me that due to my presence, the way I emote and everything, and the way I speak, I'd be a good candidate for voice work. And I'd be a good candidate for stand-up. So I'm going to practice my stand-up and try stand-up at one point. Voice work, though, I would like to do voice work on fan works, actually. In the past, I have worked on Tom Jurassic's Tales from a Jurassic World. Unfortunately, I was only able to get one-line roles. And I never really was able to find my lines in the clips, but I never really listened to the whole show. But I would love to be part of other fan projects as a voice actor if needed, especially Jurassic ones. I would love to do that. If any Jurassic fan productions want an actor, an experienced actor, you know, look, I ain't incredible, but I'm not bad because I know I'm not bad, not because I'm tooting my own horn. I get positive remarks all the fucking time, so I just know I'm not bad. The only reason I'm not asking for pay or anything is because I enjoy doing this, you know. And I know fan works are like a pain in the ass to make, you know? Writing a fan script is a pain in the ass, and you don't even have to produce that shit. So imagine hiring actors, fucking getting equipment, all that shit. Nah, I don't want to fucking bother that with, hey, can you give me like $20? Nah, fuck that. But anyway, no, I just want to work with I want to work with nerds, dude. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I want to work with nerds. Nerds make me happy. Well, not all nerds. Unfortunately, a lot of nerds have turned into like red pill crazy people, you know? And I'm like, nah, you're ruining nerdism, you know? Being a nerd is like one of the most loony left things you can do. Because being a nerd, you accept the impossible. So to say that, nah, the impossible is defined by these rules is like, you're not being a nerd, dude. You're being a fascist. But anyway, another thing about pop culture, if you're a nerd, you will understand that pop culture is very much liberal and anti-fascist, you know? A lot of pop culture is basically speaks against fascism, you know? The freedom of expression, freedom of self, freedom of being. It's food for thought there. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys have any suggestions of any fan projects going on that you would like, not like, but would like, would you like to suggest to me so I can reach out to them? Let me know. I would love to reach out to some creators. I was watching Jurassic James recently. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I started watching him when he was a smaller channel, when he was like at 200 subscribers. I haven't watched so many of his videos, but the ones I've watched are pretty amazing. I mean, he's a paleontologist. And he explains dinosaurs very well using toys. And he uses Mattel toys quite often, and he refers to Jurassic Park quite often, so it's just perfect. But what I've noticed that he does interviews with other paleontologists from time to time. I want to see if I can contact him at one point and maybe do like not a live stream, but like an interview between us. He's discussing Jurassic and pick his brain about it. I just gotta get the courage to actually hold a digital interview because I don't really like doing things online, you know? But what do you guys think? Should I collaborate with other YouTubers? I mean, not just anybody, you know? I would like to collaborate mainly with Jurassic and dinosaur YouTubers. Oh my God, I discovered this one girl. I know I use the word discovery, even though she's been around for a while. Nicole something, I forgot her name. She talks like a bartender, okay? But my favorite thing about her, she seems to be like a prehistoric biologist or gets a big buff or something. Because she goes on, not just about dinosaurs, prehistoric mammals, prehistoric reptiles, early man. I'm like, wow, I wish I followed this channel sooner, you know? And currently she's doing like this thing called Extinct, EXT hyphen INKED, where she decided she's wanting to get a bunch of tattoos and wants to showcase her experience. And each tattoo is a different fossil. And this is really, really cool idea. Yeah, so I don't know. I won't reach out to her specifically because I don't think we have anything to discuss. But yeah, any channels that you think will gel well with me, recommend them, you know? Maybe I can watch their videos and reach out to them eventually and be like, would I just have an interview, collaborate or something, you know? What else can I say? I was going to go to Comic Con this year. Didn't go. I was in the hospital. It's okay. I'm going to Los Angeles Comic Con. Hopefully I don't end up in the hospital by then, but I'm joking. But I prefer Los Angeles over San Diego anyway. Better air conditioning, better venue. But I got to interview Kevin Smith at LA Comic Con. I asked a stupid question. I wish I got a better question, but he gave me a long answer, so I'm grateful for that. I still have the video somewhere. Maybe I should upload it if I haven't uploaded it. I'm just embarrassed of the question I asked. It was a stupid ass question. I was really on the spot and scared. You know, not scared, but nervous. You know, I'm like, okay, the question I wanted to ask was already asked. What do I ask now? You know? Anyway, I have a lot of positive experiences at conventions, actually. I met Brian Pulido, who is the creator of Chaos Comics, Evil Ernie. I'm a big fan of Evil Ernie. I met, what's his name? King Buzzo from the Melvins. I ran into him one time. Ordinary Adventures, the couple from YouTube. I met them one point. Of course, I got my autographs from the Mattel Creations people and some of the producers and not producers, art directors from Jurassic Park films. So I have my fun at conventions. I like conventions, you know. People complain, oh, it's not as good as it used to be, blah, blah. I know what they're talking about. They're talking about the presentation. They're talking about the guests. They want the big names. They want the Marvels, you know. And they always talk about how crowded it is and blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. SDCC has always been crowded. SDCC has grown bigger because it's attracting more nerds, and nerd is becoming more popular because Marvel has become very mainstream. Disney has made nerd very mainstream. DC tried its best making nerd mainstream and it's still trying. Anime has made nerd mainstream. So of course, more people are going to go to SDCC, given that it's San Diego Comic-Con International. So I don't go to SDCC expecting like thin crowds. I expect to be shoulder to shoulder with people. And when it comes to the shows and stuff, I'm like, half the time I don't even get into those. You know, they get overfilled and I end up in the corner. And when I do get into them, they're great and all, but it's not something I couldn't see online. You know, it's not like I have a exclusive scoop. It's not like I have a close-up seat. It's not like I'm going to touch the person or give him like a hug. I don't know. So I'm like, is it really that big of a deal to make such a big deal out of like, sorry, I heard some buzzing right now. I guess something buddies outside my room. Anyways, I should probably end this video right now since it's an hour long. You got anything you want to say to me? Leave it in the comments. I will try to reply. I know I haven't been replying in comments lately. Again, situational. But I'm trying to get back on YouTube for real, like on a consistent basis. So maybe today I'll film a toy hunt just for fun. It won't be like a serious toy hunt in the sense that I'll go into detail or anything. I'm going to just probably run over things real quick. And I'll think about the other ideas I've had. Maybe I'll do a more produced video when I do the review videos. Kind of like do some cuts here and there, you know, clips. Make an actual review video, you know. So maybe you can see some of my editing skill, you know. Whew, haven't edited something seriously in a long time though. We'll find out. Anyways, I do appreciate all your patience and support and everything. And I look forward to coming back to YouTube and helping y'all out. Not helping y'all, having y'all help me out. There we go. Because y'all have been helping me out a lot by not only watching my videos, but commenting and showing me your support and giving me motivation to continue doing this stuff. Because, like I said, I don't want to make this my career. I don't want this to be my income. I just have fun doing it, you know? It's a great pastime. And the fact that I make like a couple $100 every month, or used to, and not anymore, because I haven't really made that many videos, but back then I used to make around 200, I think. It's not a lot, but you know what? That's gas money. That's some food money. So that kept me happy. And it came from a positive influence in the sense like I wasn't scamming people. I wasn't like doing illicit things. I was just making content. Positive content too. I mean, as far as I know, I never led you guys astray, have I? I never told you guys, hey, burn down the government or anything like that. I expressed my dissatisfactions with things. You know, I think I have expressed my dissatisfaction with the Trump administration. Understatement. Understatement. But I never really instructed you guys to take action because for two reasons. Who am I to give you guys instruction? I'm just a YouTuber to you guys. And second of all, as far as my knowledge is aware of, the majority of you are young, under 20. I do not want to be that kind of influence on the people under 20, you know? A kind of dictator or something like that. I'm the kind of person that when I go to a restaurant and a guy or a store and the guy's like boss, calls me boss, I'm like, please don't call me boss. And they're like, why not? I'm like, you know, I'm a customer here. Yes. And yes, I am technically giving you orders as they call them. But I am not a person of authority in your life, dude. If anything, I'm under you because you're the one serving me. Therefore, you're actually have more responsibility and credibility than I do because I'm just paying, you know. But I understand where he's coming from. It's just he just gets to me because I'm not a man of authority, dude. I don't want to be a man of authority. I hate authority. Authority is a fabrication. It's a lie, you know. It's a way for people to boss other people around. True authority is Mutuality. That's true authority. When you both agree on something, and you both find, or the three of you or four of you, when everybody agrees on something, and enough to move forward, whoever came up with the idea, that's the authority right there, you know? But to be the one person leading a bunch of people who are confused or don't even know what to do, you're not really having authority there. You're kind of just being a charlatan and a cult leader, you know? Anyway, let's end this video. How about that? I feel a lot better now that I spoke my mind a little bit. Thank you so much. I hope this video was okay to make, or not okay to make. I don't care if it was okay to make. I mean, I hope it was clear and concise in the context I want to put it in. And I'll make weird faces when I talk, by the way. I took down my short, by the way. Not for the content. I said I hated the thumbnail so much. I don't know why I picked that image. I guess I didn't pay attention, but the thumbnail looks so stupid. I was like, ugh, I gotta delete this shit. But yeah, I'll pick a better thumbnail for this one. How about that? And with all that said, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm not gonna add an intro to this. I'm not gonna add cuts to this or anything. No music. It's gonna be flat out me. I mean, it's like 4 a.m. right now. I mean, I've been sleeping so much due to my cold that I don't have a regular schedule anymore right now. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm your host, Quinzelle. You know how they say, you like the video, blah blah, you do blah 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 blah, subscribe, blah blah. But I want to go back to saying what I always say is the reason I say this is twofold. No, not two, threefold maybe. For one, I guess it's due to my mom, to my sister, to myself. I have a lot of admiration and respect for the trans community. A lot. I don't know why so much, but I do. Second of all, I am fully aware that not just in the United States, but also throughout the world, they're one of the most objectified and oppressed and hurt people in existence. And I also know that those that show support many times have ulterior motives that are more personal, if you know what I mean, and more curiosity based. So I like saying this, not because I'm a chaser, not because I'm trying to poke fun, not trying to start a riot. I say it because, first of all, I thought it was clever. Second of all, I love the quote from Ellie Sattler. And third of all, I'm a Jurassic Park nerd. And fourth of all, I still don't find harm in it at all. So I'm going to say it again. Dinosaurs eat cisgendered man, and trans women inherit the earth. Okay? I'm going to redesign my logo, by the way, for that quote, you know? I've been using the Brachiosaurus that I drew a while back ago, or colored a while back ago. I want to create something more original than that, but that's going to remain my tagline for this channel until the near future, you know? Because, I don't know. It's like, there's so much hatred, you know? So much hatred. Not just towards trans women, but even fucking immigrants. And not just immigrants, fucking women, fucking kids, fucking adults. Everybody's hating on everybody, you know? You know, fucking people are men are turning into fucking children, you know? Crying over this and that, like, they're all victims now. Everybody's whining about woke like it's actually a real fucking problem, you know? Everybody consider the word woke, though? Have you ever considered it? Would you rather be asleep? Or would you rather be woke? Asleep? Woke? Asleep? Woke? Like, come on. Think of the options. And here's another option. I like bring this one up. They like, these right-wing people, they like to reference the Matrix a lot, don't they? You gotta escape the Matrix. You gotta escape the Matrix. Take the red pill. Take the red pill. Take the red pill. You ever consider that one? First of all, the Matrix is a sci-fi phenomenon, right? A lot of it, though, it's an allegory, dude. It's an allegory for the director's experiences, dude. A lot of it's an allegory for their experience in transitioning and their experience in identity, you know? Yeah. So there you go. Right wingers are already supporting the trans community, you know? And then here's the other thing. The red pill. They got it backwards, dude. They got it backwards. The red pill makes you leave the matrix, right? Into the real world, right? And the blue pill keeps you in the matrix, in the lie, in the comforts of the lie. Break it down. The matrix is the comfort zone. It's the perfect area where you have complete power and control over your life, or so you believe. You can fly, you can dodge bullets, you can do whatever the fuck you want. All right? You can dictate your life that way however you want to be. Through the confines of the matrix. The red pill, though, takes you out of the matrix into the real world. A world of struggle, strife, poverty. Where you're constantly fighting the machine. You're constantly fighting the fascist machine, dude. They're trying to oppress and destroy your people. You have nothing but sticks and stones and some fucking spaceships that suck balls, dude. And you're fighting these advanced fucking things that have been harvesting people for batteries. Yeah, that's what the red pill does. It brings you back to reality where you live humbly. Or in humility, dude, should I say. You don't live lavish lifestyles and fucking Lamborghinis, dude. You don't get tattoos and grow big ass beards and get muscles. That's not fucking red pill, dude. That's blue pill. That's where you stay in the fucking matrix, dude. That's where you stay in the fucking matrix and you live in a fancy world where, as the guy who betrayed the guys in Nebuchadnezzar or whatever it's called. Remember what he said? I know this is not a steak. I know what I'm tasting is not a steak, but it's so fucking good anyway, you know? That's what they want, dude. You know? They know that their hatred is a lie. They know their hatred is wrong. But it feels good, so they still want to hate. Because it makes them feel empowered. That's blue pill. If they wanted a red pill, they would break out of this fucking hatred. And they would accept other people. Because, think about it. When people escaped the matrix, what happened? They became a community, dude. There's this whole scene where everybody's partying in sweat and fucking nothing for like, I don't know, 15 minutes. It's a long ass scene. When the hell have you ever seen a bunch of red fucking wingers, right wingers, or whatever you want to call them, get together and actually have a party like that where everybody of every kind of walk of life was accepted? I never heard of such a thing. Nah, when you take a red pill in the Matrix terminology, you're breaking away from what's considered the status quo. In the status quo, in the interpretation by these people who abuse the Matrix, in the references and metaphors and analogies and such, well, they let me back up. These don't understand what they're talking about. They just don't understand the damn thing they're talking about. Honestly, these people don't understand fucking film. They don't understand movies. They all see themselves as film buffs. That's a problem. Film buffs are fucking morons, dude. If you consider yourself a film buff, you're a fucking idiot, dude. I'm sorry to say, you're a fucking idiot. First of all, you have arrogance in thinking that you know something about movies because you've just seen a bunch. And you have this pride in you that makes you feel like, well, since I know so much, I must be this entitled. So you have an entitlement to yourself. And then you have this snarkiness to you because all of a sudden you know more, so you got to correct others, you know? And there have been so many times I talk to film buffs where they like, yeah, this director's style is very much like this guy's, who's very much like this guy, who did this one film, was inspired by this, and it had this technique which is called this and this. I'm like, dude, that's cool. You can name names, you can name techniques, you can name movies. Can you tell me what the movie was about? What it really was about? Can you tell me the character's arc? What it really was about? Not just what you witness. Can you tell me the after of the movie? What would you think happened to these characters after? What happened to these characters before? Without any context from a narrative. Just assume, not without the context, without the explicit context of the narrative. Just piece it together from what you gathered. They can't. It's always based on vicarious observation. It's always based on the works of others. That's why people like Quentin Tarantino, I don't like. Yeah, his movies are entertaining as fuck, but if you break it down, it's a hodgepodge of other people's works. Nothing says Tarantino in it. It all says I've been influenced by other people and I don't have an original bone in my body. That's what I see in Tarantino. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of film buffs. Part of the reason I didn't go to film school and I went to university, I didn't want to study just film. I want to study other things than film because I feel if I studied only film, I would become ignorant. I need to know sociology, psychology, anthropology, biology, if I want to do a proper film, I feel. Because I'm a writer. I'm not a cinematographer or anything. I'm a writer, so I need to understand people in society in a way that I can express myself and emote myself in words that will translate in the way other people can interpret it and understand and appreciate it, right? So, yeah. Ooh, an hour and 20 minutes long. Let's cut it here. Anyways, once again, I'm Jake Quinzelle. And, as I said earlier, dinosaurs eat cisgender men and trans women inherit the earth. And yes, I'll stick by that. Peace.